Good morning or good afternoon, everyone, depending on where you are. My name is Arun. I'm a solutions engineer here at SciNote, and I'm joined by my teammate, Nathan. Nathan, do you want to say hi?
Sure. Hello, everyone. My name is Nathan, and I'm on SciNote's customer success team. So I'm a customer success manager, and thank you so much for joining today, and Happy New Year to everyone getting us kicked off here.
Awesome. So today's webinar is going to be focused on our file versioning feature, which we introduced at the end of last year. It was a much requested feature by a lot of our users. And the goal of this feature is primarily aimed at bolstering your compliance requirements. So as some of you that are familiar with SciNote might know, we have an audit trail that tracks all your changes that you make directly in the SciNote application. However, a lot of you have attachments that you're uploading into SciNote, whether they're Excel files, Word documents, etc. And changes made to these files aren't directly tracked in SciNote. So we introduced this file versioning feature, which allows you to view prior versions of a file without certain edits, and also gives you the ability to restore a file to a version without edits if you'd like to. Now, with that being said, we'll jump right in. Also, as a reminder, if you have any questions, please use the Q&A chat to start dropping your questions in. And like Nate said, we'll have a few minutes at the end to go over the questions as well. So we'll dive right in. So I've got a task open here in SciNote, and we're going to be working in the results section. But a note here, this file versioning feature does apply to any attachments uploaded in a step in the protocol section, in the results section, as well as in an inventory. And we're going to kick things off with editing an Excel file. So, a lot of you working with scientific data are probably using Excel to do your data analysis. And oftentimes, if there's more than one person working on a project or data gathering exercise, you're going to have multiple people editing that particular file. So here I've got an HPLC data sheet. So I'm going to click on the file. And in SciNote, since we have the O365 integration, we do get a nice little preview of the Excel file. And on the top here, you'll notice the option to open this file in Microsoft Excel. So this option allows you to open this file on your desktop version of Excel. And that's exactly what we're going to do here. So when I open this, now this does take a couple of seconds here because the SciNote edit plugin running in the background is going to kick in. It's going to download a copy of this file and open it on my computer in a moment here. Should be coming up.
Just wanted to double check. Is everyone able to see the screen okay?
All right, there we go.
Yes, I see. I'm seeing black as well. So let's
All right, let me see what's up. Is it still grayed out, Nate?
yeah, it's showing black for now.
Okay, let me also turn off my camera. Maybe that'll help.
Yep, now I can see it okay.
All right, sorry about that. But anyways, we've got this Excel file here, and let's say I modify some of these data points here. The change itself is not relevant, so I'm just going to just make some changes. And it's important that after you make these changes, that you save these changes. And you want to save it to the same file that you're working in. Do not use the save as feature and save it as a different file. So it's important that we save the changes on the existing file. And once I save these changes here, they should be synced to the file that's already uploaded here in SciNote. And we're just going to do a quick refresh. All right, so now there's two ways for you to access the file versioning history. One is directly from this drop-down here. There's a version history that you can select. Alternatively, you can also open the file with the preview, and there is a version history available here as well. So when I open the version history, you can see the most recent change that I've made right here on the 23rd. And there is an option here to restore it to the original file that was uploaded. And all versions of your file are downloadable. So if you want to download prior versions of the file to keep a track of outside of SciNote, you have the ability to do that as well. All right, so on that note, I'm going to hand it over to Nathan to go over another file type that you might find useful using the file versioning for.
Perfect. So I'm going to share my screen as well. Everyone, please let me know if you're seeing it okay. Also, if it's appearing large enough, I can zoom in slightly to make it a little bit easier. So essentially, what Arun was showing before is in SciNote, you can upload pretty much any file type that you use in your day-to-day work. So the first example that he was showing was an Excel file. However, these track changes and these file versioning history apply to pretty much any file type. So here we are again on a separate SciNote task. Just to reiterate, you can add these files to steps within a protocol or to results. And so today we'll be focusing on the result side. This example is a Word document that's been uploaded as a result here and attached. And with any files in SciNote, there are actually a few things I just want to quickly show you. So you can change the size of the file, whether it's a list version that just shows you the name of the file, a little thumbnail, small version like this, or you can also do a large version as well. So if you want to see, let's say, an Excel or a Word or PowerPoint doc file in a larger version to preview it, such as we're showing right here, you can actually do that right here from your task itself. And so similarly, if you're using SciNote Edit, which is again a kind of a powerful tool that allows you to open these files directly from your SciNote tasks and make edits through those locally downloaded software. So for example, I can open this specific Word file in Microsoft Word itself and then make edits and changes there. This is something that you can download if you haven't used it already, straight from the SciNote portal itself. We can show that in a second as well. So when I launch this application, it'll also open the Word document, as I just mentioned, in Microsoft Word. One of the questions we've gotten frequently since file versioning has launched is, can we also use track changes with our softwares in order to see the specific changes that my teammates are making in these files for the different versions over time? The answer is yes. So excitingly, if you're using mainly, Word or Excel or files in softwares that do have track changes built into the software, that does work in tandem with SciNote Edit as well. So for example, when I open this Word document and I go to the review section with Microsoft Word, you can see that track changes are on. So I recommend, first of all, you have to make sure that track changes are on in the file when you upload it to SciNote, or you can turn them on later. You want to make sure that it's uploaded so you're seeing the changes for everyone, not just yourself. And then you can also open what we call a reviewing panel. So this will show you the changes over time. So for example, I initiated this file in the system. Let's say Arun added a comment on a specific date. You can hover over that and see the date and time of these changes, as well as if you do set up track changes using SciNote Edit, you can also change the color. So specific changes from each user are designated by a different color. This is all available in the different settings and preferences of Microsoft Word. However, going back to what Arun was showing before, let's say I add a new change here. So we're adding a new item to this list, something like webinar comment. Any changes you make in SciNote Edit through this feature, just make sure that once you are done making those changes, you save in that file itself. And make sure that, as Arun mentioned, you use the save and not save as feature. So when you're done with that, I can close out here. I'm going to also refresh just very quickly so you can see this a little bit faster. Once you click save using SciNote Edit and you go back to the file that's stored within your ELN, when you access that version history, so again, you can click these dots in the upper right of corner of any file, you'll see all the different versions over time. So the version that I just saved right now is shown at the top. So the most recent version is shown at the top. And if I do need to go back and download or restore the file prior to a prior version, that's possible from version history. So track changes, I know it's very important for a lot of teams that really need to maintain the trail of what specific changes were occurring. When you do use SciNote Edit in this way, you are outside of SciNote in that other tool briefly, and we're just connecting those saved changes back to the ELN. So just make sure that you have turned on track changes in your other tools if that's something you'd like to use. So I will pass it back to Arun, and next we're going to show yet another file type example. So I think the next example we'll be showing you is a JMP file.
Thanks, Nate. Let me bring my screen back up. And Nate, can you just let me know if my screen is visible or if it's still grayed
Yes,
out?
yes, we can see it.
Awesome, thank you. All right, like Nate mentioned, the next example we're going to go over is a JMP file. Now, again, the SciNote edit functionality plus the file versioning history works with all file types. I picked a JMP file just because in my previous work, when working with scientific data, we often use JMP files and JMP for analysis. But again, this could be any statistical software or any other analytical software that you're using. So here I'm going to bring up a preview of this file. Now, since this is a JMP file, we're not able to see a preview because SciNote is not able to read this file type. However, here on the top right, you will immediately see the option to open it in the JMP application directly. So when I click this, it's again going to take a couple of seconds and it's going to bring up the JMP file here, as you can see. And I'm just going to make some small edits here. And once again, it's important to make sure you save and not save as. So we're going to save these changes and then close JMP. And we'll do a refresh here in SciNote. And now we can bring up the version history. And here you can see version 3 of the file edited today. And previous versions are restorable, and all versions are downloadable as well. And I just, again, want to reiterate, this works with any file types. If you encounter a file type that this isn't working with, please reach out to your customer success manager or to premium support at SciNote, and we'll definitely look into it and do our best to incorporate that file type into SciNote Edit and the versioning system here. And on that note, I'm going to hand it back to you, Nate, to go over the last two items here.
Perfect. Thanks, Arun. So I will steal the screen share one more time. Everyone, please let me know if you're able to see this. Okay. So one of the next two that we're going to go over pretty quickly are how you can access files directly from your audit trail as well, and also how you can access version history for files that you upload to your inventory items. So a couple of things to note for those of you who are not as familiar with the audit trail, within SciNote, all of the changes within the system for each team workspace are contained within an audit trail where you can see if records were updated, which text within a text block on a result was added or deleted or edited. And this actually also applies to files that you upload to your ELN. So just to quickly show you how you access the audit trail, this is something that only team owners can access. So it's something that they can export within a certain time frame if needed, but only those with owner access at the team level can do this. And the team is representing kind of the drop down at the top here. So if you're in a different team, if you're an owner of that workspace, you can access this. So you click in the little settings in the upper right-hand corner on teams. And then to access the audit trail for a specific team, you click on that team name, and then you'll be able to see the users in there, but also access this audit trail here. So if I add, let's say, an Excel file, so on my previous task I was on, I can show you really quickly what I added. I added another Excel sheet just now, and so that's one of the most recent items in the audit trail history for this team. If I go into this team workspace and click into the audit trail, this actually will appear here in this section. So this will show timestamps of all the actions and specifically what changes occur in the ELN, again, for compliant reasons. There are a lot of lines here, and so it sometimes can be a bit cumbersome to figure this out. But if you add files in, you'll see these types of records where you add files and then you can expand them to actually see what those are. So for example, just a few minutes ago, I added a new file for this Excel sheet, and you'll see here that there's a link to the file itself as well as the version. So it'll show you that this was the first version of the file that was uploaded here. I can actually download that from the audit trail as well. And if you do go back and edit this file in Excel or add future versions, those changes will be recorded in the audit trail as well. And you can download different versions of your files directly from the audit trail here. So this is another powerful way just to keep track of the files as they're changing over time. It's also accessible from the SciNote audit trail for each team. And then the final thing that I wanted to show you today is, so we've talked a lot about how powerful file versioning is, and there are different places you can store files within SciNote. So we've already showed, let's say on tasks. So on a task page here, you can drag and drop files into your results or add them using this kind of file dropdown. You can also do the same on protocols. So within protocol steps, you can add files and drag them in. And then the last place that you can also add files within SciNote is on inventory items. So you can create any number of inventory items within your inventories. You can create columns specifically to store files. So for chemicals, for example, we commonly see people storing safety data sheets. You can also store image files directly on your inventory items. And from the task side of things, so if you're someone who you have your inventory set up within SciNote and you're wanting to assign your inventory items to the tasks, so you can either consume a certain amount of stock on that task, or you might just want to have your team reference the information for these items. Once you've assigned items to your tasks, you can always click on the name of the item. So right here, I'll click on ethanol and it will pop open what we call a task card. So this little box that appeared on the right is all the information and the data stored for this item. So it's the item information card on the task. And you'll see things like which inventory this is part of, the item ID, all these other columns. And here we also have a column that's been added. So you can add custom columns to your inventories for files. And so for example, there might be a sheet in here that's a PDF file or some type of data sheet you need to reference. If you click on the name of the file, similar to what Arun did before, it'll open a preview of that. And this is how you can access the version history and file versioning for your inventory item files as well. So in the upper right-hand corner, you can click version history and you can see, oh, maybe someone had originally uploaded this one PDF and accidentally replaced it and then brought it back. So you can see the version history of this over time, and then you can download and also restore files back to those previous versions as well. So this is something you can do from the task page for inventory items or for files that are stored in your results and protocol templates. Similarly, just to quickly show this from the inventory side, so if I open up this inventory and I go into the items here, this will show you my different collections of items. If I click into the name of the inventory, you'll see all the items here. You can also access these files directly from the inventory itself by clicking on the name of the file and access the version history from there as well. So version history does apply to all of the different files that you can upload into SciNote, whether it's on tasks or inventory items, and you can access that from a number of different ways, whether it's a PDF file, an Excel file, or something else. So those are all the main use cases we shared. I'm going to pass it back to Arun for 1 second. There might be one other use case we'll highlight. And then if anyone has any questions as well, please feel free to upload them in the Q&A. If there are any files that you use in your day-to-day that you're curious, how this would work for you, if there's any other questions regarding this feature, please let us know.
Thanks, Nate. Yeah, I'm going to share my screen just to go over another example, if you will. So this isn't necessarily a new feature, but an existing one that we think works well in conjunction with the file versioning as well as the audit trail. So let's imagine the hypothetical scenario where you're going back to revisit some of your data and you notice that something was modified in a result file, but you're not sure when this change was made or who made it. And you want to dive into the audit trail to sort of track when that happened. What we typically recommend is to start looking in the activity log. So in SciNote, there's two activity logs. There's an activity log present in every task, which contains an activity history specific to just that task. And then we've got a global activity log as well, which is right here. And this will pull up the activity history of all activities that happened in your SciNote team. So if you know which task your change was made in, I would recommend starting with the activity log that's specific to your task. And once you're in here, as you have a lot of content in the task, this list or this log can get quite comprehensive. So it's not necessarily the easiest to search through, which is why we have some filters that you can use on the right. So we've got a wide range of filters that you can pick from. But for today, the one we're interested in is this one right here that says file on task result edited locally. So this filter applies to any files that were uploaded to a task result and then edited outside of SciNote using SciNote edit. So if you apply this filter, you'll immediately see the change that we made today. And then I made a change yesterday just to test it out. And this makes it a lot easier for you to identify when the most recent change was, and then go further there on your investigation on either following up with the individual that made the change or opening the current version and previous versions to compare what changes were made. And that's all we had for today in terms of what we wanted to cover, but we do have a few more minutes, so we'll open it up for questions if there are any,
And Arun, we
and
do
we'll hang
have
around.
one question so far.
Oh,
Um,
nice.
Someone had asked, can we please show how to access the audit trail one more time?
Yes. So sorry, let me bring up the Q&A session. All right, so the audit trail. One note about the audit trail is it is only accessible to individuals that are designated as owners on that team. So the audit trail is team specific. If you've got multiple teams in SciNote, each team has got its own audit trail. And so you'll want to jump into the teams section here. And if you have multiple teams, you'll open the team that you're interested in looking at. And if you are an owner on the team, you'll see this option appear here that says audit trail. If you don't see this, it's probably because you're designated as just a user on the team. So if you need to have access to the audit trail, you can talk to anyone that's an owner on your team or the org admin to upgrade your role from a user to an owner. And from here, you can click on audit trail, and this brings you to the audit trail. And you can increase the number of entries all the way up to 100 per page. There are some filters you can use. So as we just talked about with your activity log, if you're able to narrow down the time frame at which the change occurred, you can set a filter for a start date and end date, and it will only list logs from that range. There is also a record type filter that you can use depending on what change it is that you're looking for. And also the audit trail is exportable. So if you want to export this as a CSV and use Excel maybe to set additional filters, you can absolutely do that. And it looks like we have another question that just came in. Do we need to install a plugin in SciNote to be able to use the file versioning? So the file versioning itself does not require a plugin. The SciNote Edit plugin is to allow you to edit files outside of SciNote while ensuring the file you have in SciNote is continuously updated. The file versioning system is accessible directly from the task section in SciNote or from the inventory section in SciNote.
And Arun, can you quickly go over how you can access and download SciNote Edit from the portal?
Yes. So if you go to your settings and then add-ons, so here you will see SciNote edit somewhere here. Right here, under SciNote applications, there's an option here to download SciNote edit. And once you've installed it, you'll see it running in the background. If you've got a Mac, you'll see it at the top of your screen here with the SciNote logo. And that way you'll know that SciNote edit is running in the background. And looks like we have another question. My version of SciNote does not have file versioning for some reason. So you might be using a free version of SciNote. We don't know what version of SciNote you're currently using. So we can follow up with you directly by email after checking our records on what version of SciNote you're using and why you're not able to access the file versioning.
A great question so far. Any other questions regarding file versioning or any specific file types that you all are using, in your day-to-day workflows or anything we showed, whether it's how you can upload files to inventory items, task results, or task protocol steps as well? If a version of a protocol is mentioned, so there's one other question, I'll read it. If a version of a protocol is mentioned in another protocol, does it remain static or is it automatically updated to the latest version? So if you're referring to the version of a file, so that's a great question. If you are, let's say, editing a file that's stored on a protocol template, and then you're using, setting those protocol templates and assigning them to tasks, linking them to tasks over time, whatever version of the file that's on the task that's copied or duplicated over time is the version that will be maintained in that new protocol. So if it is something that you need to update on the protocol template itself, just make sure that the file is updated to the latest version you need. Or if you're copying a task or an experiment where those files are part of the protocol steps, just make sure that before you duplicate it, that the file that's the most recent version is already added there. And if that's a little bit difficult to visualize, we can also show you an example in the portal as well.
Yeah, and if our answer didn't answer the question, please feel free to write to us directly. Christina will be happy to answer a question by email or maybe even set up a quick meeting to go over it.
Yeah, Arun, what we could show too is if you do restore a file to a previous version, it'll show you in the version history
Yeah, we can
restore it.
quickly do that. So let me
So if
open the,
yeah,
Nate, I'm
if
still
you
sharing, right? You can still see my
yes,
screen? Okay, cool.
correct. Yeah, if you turn off your video, I think it might help a little bit just with the
Yeah, let me do that.
all right, yep, we can see it now.
All right, so let's say we just go back to the original version. So we click restore this version. And right away, you'll see version 4 with a small comment that says restored from version 1. And the same thing, if you restore from version 3, it'll tell you it's restored from version 3. So this applies to the files that you're restoring directly in the task. But kind of alluding back to the previous question, if you are using protocol templates and you're updating a file that's in the template, make sure you go into the template where, so when I say protocol templates, I'm referring to this area here. So make sure you update the file that's saved in the template and publish the template so that next time you use that template, it's going to have the updated version. If you update a file directly in a task, but not update the template, when you use the template, it's going to have whatever version of the file was in the template, which may not be the most current version. Any other questions? Even if they're not related to file versioning, please feel free to ask them. Can you show me one more time how to modify a file externally from SciNote? Yeah, absolutely. So we'll go back to maybe the Excel file just to keep it simple. So once you have your file uploaded to SciNote, now whether it's in a result, protocol step, or inventory, you can just click on the file here to bring up a preview. If the file is an Office file, you will see a preview. If it's not, it's just going to have a gray page with a paperclip. On the top right of your screen, you'll see this option to open in. Now, because this is a Microsoft Office file and SciNote has a direct integration with it, you can open this in Excel online and edit it in the online version of Excel. But if you prefer to make your edits on the desktop version as an externally from SciNote, you would pick this option, open in Microsoft Excel, and this will open a copy of the file in Excel, allow you to make the edits directly here in Excel. And just to show you what this might look like with files that are not Microsoft Office files, we can pull up the JMP file again. So once again, I'll click on the file for a preview. Since this is a more custom file type that works with only JMP, there's no preview, but on the top right, you'll see open in JMP. And when I select this or click it, SciNote's going to download a copy of the file and open it in JMP in this case. Now, again, we're just using JMP as an example. This could be Snapgene, MATLAB, R, Stata, any other software that you might be using with SciNote. And I hope that answered your question.
Great, and I'm typing out a few more answers to the open questions just so they're written out. But if anyone does have any final questions, please feel free to keep adding them to the Q&A. Great
There's a
questions.
question. Yeah, Nate, go ahead.
I was gonna say yes. So that one more question came in. Can we open Prism files? So the answer is yes. Are you using a Mac or a PC for to access these files? There are two different versions of SciNote Edit. So just as you're aware of that, you can use it with Mac or PC devices. There was a point where for Mac files there was a slight issue, I think, with opening Prism files specifically, and our team has actually just launched a new version of SciNote Edit to help with that. So if you're using Mac and it's not working, we can reach out to you with a link to a newer version of SciNote Edit to address that as well. I think it was specific to GraphPad Prism because it was something in terms of how Prism is set up as an app, and so we can reach out to you with that link as well. I think for users who are using Prism on PC devices, I don't think there was an issue with that. So just so you're aware, you can use SciNote Edit with GraphPad Prism as well. Any other questions we can help address?
Well, if there's no other questions at this moment, you can always write directly to your CSM or to our premium support at scinout.net support line. And we'll be more than happy to get back to you either by email or even set up a meeting to go over any questions. This webinar is recorded, so if anyone would like a recording, please just let us know and we'll be happy to send it over. And on that note, thank you everyone for your time today. We really appreciated all your questions.
Yes, thank you so much everyone for joining. We hope that file versioning brings a lot of new value to your use of SciNote. And again, if you have any questions, you can always reach out to your CSM individually, or as Arun mentioned, premium support at scinote.net. So we hope you enjoy testing out this feature, and please, again, let us know if you have any questions in the future.
Thanks everyone. Have a great rest of your day.
All right. Thank you all.